Demolition crews have been called to the scene of a two-story building in Toronto's Kensington Market. Police say the building is leaning toward the sidewalk and in danger of collapsing. 6 families in total have been evacuated by fire crews. CBC's Greg Ross has the details.
Well, Natalie, we've just learned that they have a demolition crew on standby that is waiting to come in and tear down the exterior wall of this building and the roof. We've also just learned that the problem here is the roof. We're told that that roof collapsed this morning, forcing the exterior wall of the building out. It's this charcoal building here behind me. You can see that the exterior wall is leaning about 4 or 5 feet forward. Fire crews tell us that they got a call at around 10:30 this morning when people noticed that that building was moving.
Then I heard the crackling and I just saw the edge of the building coming out like that.
Stephen Ellis was standing on the sidewalk outside the building when it started to collapse. His wife was inside the store below buying lottery tickets.
The owner was yelling at us to get out. I was scared because the debris of it was sprinkling down.
Residents in the apartments on the upper level heard it but didn't see it.
I heard a little bit of cracking in the walls.
Max Huang lives in an apartment across from the unit where the wall collapsed. He didn't realize what was happening until firefighters arrived.
The firefighters get in and then they're just going down the hallway, slamming on everyone's doors, just telling them to get out of here.
At this point, there are no injuries. We have conducted a primary search on all adjoining buildings and we have evacuated all occupants.
Deputy Chief Jim Jessup says fire crews then made calls to have power lines and gas lines disconnected from the building. Investigators quickly learned that the extent of the damage goes well beyond the exterior wall.
Our squads went up and were able to take some pictures. The roof structure is absolutely compromised.
And that means tenants of this building aren't likely to get back inside anytime soon, if ever.
And all of our stuff's still in there. All we got to take is a bag each.
The fire chief tells us that there were 6 families displaced because of this damage to that building. All of them are being taken care of by the Red Cross. Natalie?
Thanks, Greg. Well, for a look into what happens next, we are joined now by Yasser Korany. He is a doctor in structural engineering and consulting forensic engineer and joins us now from Toronto. Thank you so much, Yasser, for taking the time. As we heard there, that building will be demolished tonight. How can something like this happen in one of the most iconic areas in Toronto?
Thank you for having me. The building, as most of the viewers have learned by now, is a very old building in one of the oldest parts of Toronto. We don't particularly think of regular maintenance when it comes to buildings. We're good at carrying out regular maintenance to our vehicles, for example, but we somehow expect our buildings to last for decades without frequent maintenance. Lack of maintenance could be one of the reasons. I happen to be able to view one of the photographs that Toronto Fire Services posted on X. It's an aerial view. It shows the roof flattened, but also shows a great deal of deteriorated shingles and what appears to be some signs of water damage. So what happened this morning was not a result of something that happened in the past couple of days. There was, of course, deteriorating factors at work for extended period of time. This roof is a gable roof, triangular in shape, and it is kept intact, or its integrity, structural integrity, is kept by horizontal framing at the ceiling level. The wood is tied together by nails. If you have corrosion and those nails start to corrode, start to withdraw, and you lose this connection, what happens is that the roof ends up being flattened the way that we have seen in the photographs. And the triangle roof, when it is flattened, it is wider, so it pushes out on the exterior walls, and that's what caused this exterior masonry wall to move out about 4 or 5 feet.
Now, Yasser, I know you haven't examined the building itself in person. As you said, you saw a photograph, but I'm wondering if you can tell from what you have seen what kind of risk this could pose to the buildings attached to the structure.
Of course, we have a heavy exterior masonry wall leaning over, and parts of the flattened roof is still attached to it. There is a sense of urgency that I was happy to see that everybody attended to the scene recognized, and I'm pleased to hear that there's a demo crew ready on site. I believe now it's a matter of putting together a precautions around the building for safe demolition and remove this hazard that exists currently to the public and surrounding buildings. It was the right call to vacate not only the units of this property, but also for the adjacent properties.
And as we wait for that to happen, I'm wondering if you can sort of put on your advice hat here. What could have been done perhaps to prevent this situation?
Well, as you mentioned correctly, I haven't been to this scene and I don't have the benefit of taking a look at the roof itself and the framing and the masonry wall and what happened. We can try to deduce some facts from available photographs. Deterioration, water damage, prolonged water damage not only causes damage to interior finishes, but it also causes structural damage. So the wood would rot, the nails would corrode, and over a period of time, years, you reach a condition where the connection between the wood framing is lost. There isn't enough capacity, there isn't enough penetration of the nails to keep the wood together. So I think it is a wake-up call to all the homeowner and the property managers of older properties similar to this one to try to be more proactive and do frequent maintenance and inspection of the buildings. It's not a bad idea for us to start to think about a 5-year period mandated inspection for existing buildings. I think that would be very helpful. We have a robust process for permitting and the inspection during construction, but we could certainly complement that with a frequent maintenance program at least every 5 years.
And, you know, Yasser, looking at these photographs, this is rather surprising. It's rather unusual. It's not something you see every day. How surprised were you when you saw something like this?
Well, given that I am a forensic engineer, I deal mostly with stressed and collapsed structures. I wasn't perhaps as surprised as the average person, the average viewer. Again, without the benefit of being there and seeing exactly what happened, I suspected that there was some loss in the connection between the roof rafters and ceiling joists, and because of that, this middle part of the roof kind of flattened, pushing these walls out. The attic space is one area that's concealed, the attic space being the space between the ceiling and the underside of the roof. Nobody really spends much time in there. So if there is a low water leakage that's not necessarily detected from the occupied space that's ongoing for years in the attic space, things could go really very bad. You could have mold growth, you could have the wood rot, you could have any metal connections rust, and that could go on without detection. So again, prevention would be very useful. Recognizing the age of the properties, the older the property is, the closer the construction materials are getting to the end of their useful service life. So it would be prudent to keep an eye and do frequent inspections.
Thank you so much, Yasser. That is Yasser Korany, a doctor in structural engineering and consulting forensic engineer. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And we have an update on this story for you into our newsroom just now. You heard our reporter Greg Ross say that that 6 families have been displaced in that building that is leaning that we were just speaking to Yasser about. Toronto police have now updated that number to 8. So police confirm 8 families will receive help from the Red Cross.